What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Bench Warmers, and it's getting closer to the start of the medyo nagsubside ang excitement about fantasy medyo nagtumahimik ng konti kasi wala pang happenings
The calm before the storm.
Oo, the calm before the storm. And baka mga couple of weeks pa bago medyo... Kasi iba nagdo-draft na, pero I think it's still too early to draft
Yeah. Early. I think mostly ang nangyayari ngayon is people are trying to find the leagues you're gonna join in. Finalize yung mga leagues.
Yeah.
Yun lang, basically.
Yeah. So, yun. Anyway, my name is Jeremy Tan, or you could call me JJT, and Kumish is here, of course. Today, we'll have a quick episode about depth charts. We'll talk about depth charts ng each team. We'll take it per division and then we'll release episodes per division na rin. So parang it won't be a weekly thing. So siguro mga in a few days, meron mga certain divisions that we will talk about. Pero as you were saying right now, sabi nga ni Komish, right now, managers are looking for leagues to join in or organizing their leagues, looking for managers na to fill out the rosters naman ng leagues nila. And just a quick update on the Fantasy Bench Warmers leagues. Medyo malapit na. Tomorrow is the deadline, September 6, which is today pagka-release nito. And we'll find out sino mga cast-away players na mag-move up. Actually, may mga nag-move up na. Kasi may mga nagsabi na hindi sila pwede. Alright, so let's start off with Southeast Division. We'll share ko yung screen ko para makita natin yung depth chart.
Southeast is the Atlanta Hawks division. Tama ata, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yan ang very...
Yan, okay. Ito na, Atlanta Hawks.
Pwede ba yung palakihan? Or yan na yan?
Teka. Ano ba?
But, okay. One thing about where you were doing depth charts habang ginagawa ni Jeremy.
Yan, na.
Oh, yan. Okay. Yan. One thing why we're doing depth charts kasi kailangan nyo malaman. As we said, in fantasy, minutes ang importante, di ba? The more minutes, the more chances. Siyempre, importante yung stats per minute or fantasy points per minute. Pero, the more minutes someone plays, kahit na bulok siya sa per minute stats niya, at least eventually yung totals niya will be still more than someone less minutes pero fantasy talented fantasy player.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to see. Ngayon, Atlanta, as we can see, it's a very deep team. Anong unang mo dito? Anong unang basa mo sa Atlanta?
Actually, the usual players naman, Trae Young, Bogdan, Huerter, I think those are rosterable players. DeAndre Hunter.
Ang tanong ko na lang dito, what do you think of the wings? The wings, kasi ito, tama yan, Trae Young, Bogdan, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, and Capella will probably start. Yeah. The wings, kasi you can see Kevin Huerter, you can see Cam Reddish off the bench, and then there's Dillon Wright off the bench then, who could play the wing position. May Lou Williams ka pa. So any of these players, who among them do you think is the best for you, I guess?
I think Bogdan with the minutes pa rin.
Yeah.
Huerter, yun yung medyo sure. Ako, for me, it's sa guard position, Trae, Bogdan, and Huerter. I think Dillon and Lou Williams halos on the same level. Actually, dito sa dalawa, hindi natin sure who will play more minutes. No? Kasi if Dillon plays point guard, baka mas marami siyang minutes than Lou Williams. Although Lou Williams can play point, but hindi natin sure pa how they would do this or rotate these players. That's a challenge here. Pero the three, siguro Trae, Bogdan, and Huerter, medyo sure thing.
Yes, I think Trae is a top 15 player right now, rank-wise sa Yahoo. Bogdan is in the top 70, top 80, sometimes even in the top 65. Nakikita ko na the-draft siya sa mga mock drafts. So, Bogdan is very, very good pick also. Pero, Huerter, I think later rounds, okay si Huerter. Mga nasa 120 pababa. I'm too worried about the competition sa minutes eh. As you can see, sobrang log jam nito eh. If assuming everybody's healthy, masyadong log jam to. I would rather pick actually the Andre Hunter. I'm betting that he's already healthy starting of the season. So kung Huerter or Hunter, I might go with the Andre Hunter.
Yeah, the Andre Hunter. Could,
yes.
Well, last year he was before injured top 20. Before
Hindi naman. Siguro 30.
Yeah, mga ganun, top
30. Mga ganun, top 30.
Pero mataas. Yes. I mean, mataas for the draft position that you picked him.
Yes.
I think solid yung numbers niya. Although the injury, we are still not sure kung how. Pero sa preseason, you'll see na lang. Makikita naman natin how he plays. Most likely, baka nga hindi pala. Kasi top players
baka hindi pa siya palaruin sa preseason.
Yeah.
So, nakita mo yung John Collins is in the 60s. 60s eh. Nasa 60s yung 50s pala. Nasa 50s yung rank niya ngayon. I think medyo sleeperish siya na. Medyo sneaky yung value ni John Collins. Masyado naman
kasi marami na napasok from last year.
Pero baka masyado naman nata siyang ina-underrate kung 50s ang rank niya. I get Danilo Gallinari. I get that Cam Reddish and Hunter might play the power forward also. Pero Collins can play small ball 5. Given the center rotation, Okong was injured. Dieng, I don't think na ganun kalaking factor si Dieng. I think Collins can become can play some minutes at the 5 early on na walang si Okongwu. So I think very sneaky value si Collins. Among the Atlanta Hawks players, I think I like Collins the most. Let's say everyone, yung value nila based on where they are ranked
feeling
right
mo
now.
Would be the value of Collins? Third round?
He should be third round. I think nasa 30s siya dapat eh.
To early fourth. I think early fourth would be the best position you could get.
And when we're putting it at 30 to 40, kumbaga kung third to early fourth, mga ganon. 30 to 40. Pag nandun pa siya sa 50, I think very, very good value na yun. I like his value more than Trae Young, who still is very high for me. As I said, malalim tong lineup. Meron na siyang backups. May Dillon Wright siya, may Lou Williams siya, even Sharif Cooper. So,
hindi lang yung lalim but yung negative impact nung laro ni Trae Young, like the turnovers, diba, the field goals. Yun yung medyo may impact sa'yo. Not just the rankings itself, mataas siya or mababa, but unlike John Collins, si John Collins kahit papano medyo elite yung field goal niya and yung turnovers niya hindi ganun kataas. So, doon pa lang lamang ka na kaagad. And then the rest, most likely may mga stats dyan na lalamang siya with kay Trae Young. So, overall, I think better. Although, of course, Trae Young...
We're not saying pick Collins over Trae Young. We're not saying that. We're just saying na based on their rank, I think yung value ni Collins at the position that he is available, I think is better than Trae Young early on. Although, people are asking, will Trae Young get steals this year? Will Trae Young improve on his field goal? Better na ba? Kasi nga, malalim lineup nila eh. Hindi niya kailangan magbuakaw, hindi niya kailangan, di ba? For me, possible yun. Pero remember, bagong rules ng NBA sa free throws. Sa fouls. So,
baiting.
Foul baiting. So, baka maka-affect a little bit din sa kanya. Overall, feeling ko mag-even out lang eh. I don't think he's a first rounder at all. Right now.
So yun yung Atlanta's depth chart. I think the center naman is clearly Clint Capella's role to fill. Tapos fill in lang si John Collins maybe dyan. Alright.
Because of Okongwu's injury.
Yeah. Move on tayo to the next one. It's the Charlotte Hornets.
Yan, ito. Interesting din.
Okay. Charlotte, Lamelo, Rozier, Hayward. So, I think the small forward position, yan yung medyo log jam dyan.
Start muna natin. Projected starters would be Lamelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, Miles Bridges, and at center, I would assume it's Mason Plumlee. Diba? Yan ang natin. given this, tama si Jeremy, ang unang pag-usapan siguro natin here is the forward, the wings. Hayward, suddenly they became very deep. They have Hayward, they have Oubre, they have Miles Bridges, and then Jalen McDaniels also played well last year. So medyo may medyo may logjam. Pero I think Miles Bridges is my favorite player there among those players. May PJ Washington pa pala kasi dinigay nila sa center si PJ Washington, which is possible na he can play small ball center.
Pero I think pinag-usapan natin last time, diba, na who do you think is the most valuable here among the forwards ng between among Oubre, Miles, and PJ Washington? I think Hayward naman sure diba?
Yeah.
Miles and PJ and Oubre.
I'll steer clear from Hayward because una injury risk. Pangalawa, malalim yung roster, so his minutes I think would be affected. So, and then this year medyo mas malalim yung team, so they would not need Hayward to do as much. Last year he had 20 something points per game. I do not think he can reach that this year. I'm not sure. Pero I'm not confident he will. So medyo steer away ako kay Hayward. Oubre pwedeng bounce back but hindi rin. I think Miles Bridges is the one.
Ito na lang. Miles, I think I would agree Miles Bridges mas magiging solid dito. Although tricky rin so ingat din kayo of overreaching for Miles Bridges kasi last year with Hayward, Miles Bridges was so lang. Medyo pumutok lang si Miles Bridges after the Hayward injury na .
Yeah, pero I think this year yung breakout niya I think is possible . Yeah. The efficiency of Miles Bridges has been is impressive. Yeah. Yun ang ko. I think this year continue.
Terry Rozier. Okay, one player that performed last year. Way overperformed. I think probably the sleeper of the year last season . How high should you pick Terry Rozier? Kasi sure to, maraming huhugot dito kay Rozier early on .
Si Rozier last year, as we talked about him last year, we talked about him a lot of times na rin, na yung field goal percentage ang talagang nagdala sa kanya last year. From 42% career-wise, 42, 43 at most, naging 47 to 48%, which is really a big 5 to 6% increase. Now, this year, it's up. Ang basa nyo doon, do you think he's gonna be 48 or he's gonna be 42? I think he's gonna be somewhere in between. I don't think he's gonna shoot as well as last year. So, the range of 50 to 70 is just right for me. Last year, he was 37 to 38 overall.
Yeah.
In per game ata. If kung overall average 37 to 38, pero kung total stats ang mo mas mataas pa siya because he played a lot of games last year. So he was good total stats. Pero ako this year nasa 50 to 70 ko siya ita-target.
Okay. Last year he was being picked sobrang layo. 10th round, 11, 12.
Hindi na. That won't happen.
Malabo na yan. Alright. So,
pero let's look at the depth chart sa guards. Remember they lost Devontae Graham.
Yeah.
They added James Bouknight, the rookie, who's a scorer, and Ish Smith. I don't think Bouknight is ready.
Yeah.
Hindi naman. I mean, he has
playable,
potential.
Pero hindi fantasy-wise.
Not right away. Somebody I want to look at here is Ish Smith. In case lang na let's say Rozier or maybe Lamelo gets injured early on or deep leagues kayo, I think Ish is someone na pwede mong i-consider as in the Devontae Graham role last year. This guy is an assist guy. So if you need assists late in the draft, in deep leagues, with 16, 18 team leagues, Ish Smith is someone to consider.
And one thing about Ish Smith is yung efficiency niya way, way better than Devontae.
Yeah, that's true.
So, isang malaking yun, plus yun. Assist plus the efficiency sa field goal and may scoring din to from time to time. So, I think magkakaroon niya ng...
Yung final natin dito si Mason Plumlee siguro. What do we think of Mason Plumlee? Parang Rozier din yun . Last year, he surprised everybody. What do you think about Mason Plumlee?
I think medyo... Hindi, ito na lang. Plumlee or Washington ka?
Plumlee ako. Plumlee ako.
Ako, I have a sense na baka gamitin nila si Washington more over Plumlee.
Possible, but I think Washington is too small to play long minutes at center. Hindi kakayanin ng katawan or body ni Washington to play long minutes at center. And when they interviewed Mitch Kupchak, sabi nga niya he got Plumlee because he liked his fit with the team. Kasi nga he can pass, he can help Lamelo in that regard. Tapos magandang pick and roll partner din in Lamelo. So I think he's gonna be used well din here in Charlotte. Similar to Detroit, I think.
Yeah, so Plumlee ka.
Plumlee ako, and I think he's one of the better late round bigs. In case na hindi kayo nakakuha ng bigs early on and then kulang pa kayo by the end of... Kasi mababa si Plumlee eh. Mga 120s nandyan pa siya eh.
Yeah.
So I think he's a good one.
Marami sa taas, wala masyado sa gitna. Diba? Early rounds, madami. Mid rounds, wala masyado eh. Walang worth.
Meron. Alam mo sino? Sila Andre Drummond. Sila Enes Kanter. Nandyan yan sa mid rounds eh. Pero, and yan yung problema sa mid rounds.
Kaya nga. Tapos marami sa lower rounds.
Yes.
Maraming lower rounds. Maraming centers sa lower rounds. And even sa free agency later on, madami kayong mapupulot na centers. So,
like Plumlee.
Yeah, and si Plumlee, I don't think Plumlee would go behind sina Drummond eh. I think he'll still, baka marami will pick him earlier.
Yes, it's just that Yahoo, ang rankings niya, Drummond mataas. So yun, Drummond, Enes Kanter, maraming mga pangit. Basta pag nasa 70s to 90 to 100 range ka, pangit yung mga bigs option mo dun eh.
And ang maganda kay Plumlee kasi if you are building a small ball team or small team, pwede mo siya i-plug in eh. You don't need the top tier centers eh, di ba? Kasi may assist, may hindi rin siya poor field goal kahit paano can help your field goal. So,
he can help in field goal. Maganda si Plumlee sa punt free throw build. He gives you the assist, the out of position assist in that build.
Even the small ball na hindi naman punt free throw. Kasi may mga assist yan eh, di ba? So
hindi kasi delikado ka sa free throw eh.
Pero hindi naman siguro ganun kadami.
Madami. Player ko yan last year eh. Medyo mabigat din yung free throws nito eh.
Mason ba?
Siya,
Plumlee.
Medyo marami siya last. Actually, hindi siya marami before last year. Pero last year, he averaged a lot of free throws. Talagang,
so medyo delikado rin sa free throws. So, free throw build pa rin ang better. Alright. Move on tayo.
Lamelo. Last muna tayo kay Lamelo.
Pag-usapan natin, lastly, Lamelo.
Anong kanina we talked about nasa 2022, 23 nandun si Lamelo eh. Would you pick Lamelo over, let's say, Trae Young? Would that be something you can consider? Or do you think na tama lang?
Not at 22.
Okay.
Baka hindi eh.
Pero do you think Lamelo is correctly ranked? Nasa 22 to 20?
Parang too high. 22, that's second round eh.
Second round, yeah. People are valuing him at second round.
Too high. I think mga third or fourth. Highest third, late third.
Okay. For me, 22 is probably best case scenario niya this year. Probably. I can see him get there. I can see him get to the 20s rank niya.
Pero would you draft him 22?
Depends on the build, but possible because malaki yung potential. Again, a certain build siguro for Lamelo. If I'm punting field goal.
Over players like De'Aaron Fox?
I like Fox though. I like Fox, pero I might go with Fox in the sense na mababa si Fox kasi sa ranking. But if you're talking about just wala nang rank, will you pick Lamelo over Fox?
Yeah. Without the rankings. Kasi at the end of the day, the rankings are just the rankings eh.
I like Lamelo this year. I don't know why.
If you need the point guard, for example, Lamelo over Fox, Lamelo over Donovan. Yung favorite mo yan, Donovan eh.
I'll put Lamelo over both of them. I'll say this, bakit? Donovan, I don't think Donovan will improve any more from last season or from the previous seasons. Fantasy-wise,
shock-like, shock-like.
Hindi. Fantasy-wise, alam na natin anong makukuha natin kay Donovan. De'Aaron Fox, similar din for me. I don't think he could be better than what he showed last year. Sa 26 points a game, 27 points a game, yun na yan eh. That's it. That's it for De'Aaron. But Lamelo kasi, yung upside ni Lamelo, hindi pa natin alam. So I'm gonna gamble on that. Worst case for me, Lamelo will average 16, 17 points, give you around 9, 10 assists. May 2 steals a game, and then 2 3-pointers or more, and then may rebounds pa. So, I'll go with Lamelo. I'll go with Lamelo among the three.
Well, ako, too high pa rin second round. I think second round is too high for Lamelo. Considering na nandiyan si Hayward, Rozier, I mean...
Remember na wala si Devontae. Malaking factor din yun.
Yeah, pero last year, may mga certain times wala rin si Devontae. Hindi rin naman siya as consistent eh. So, maybe he improved. Ako, too high, second round. Move on to the Heat. Ito na. Miami Heat.
Okay, magandang pag-usapan yung depth chart ng Miami because we knew that they got Kyle Lowry. We knew that PJ Tucker was there. So the projected starting lineup, Lowry, Duncan Robinson, who signed a big contract by the way. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Butler, PJ Tucker, and Bam Adebayo. We know that. Given na yan. Outside of those 5, looking at this depth chart, I don't think Oladipo will be ready start of the season. Diba? I doubt it. Tyler Hero would probably get majority of the minutes sa backup 1 and 2. Diba? He's gonna be relied on. And then outside of those, medyo very, very shallow ang roster ng Miami.
Yeah.
Given this depth chart. So, meron tayong mga players dito na summer league stars like si Max Struss, saka si Omer
Yurtseven.
Yan mga yan. Tanong dyan is, do you think they could translate the summer league success to the actual games?
Hindi. In the sense that most likely si Max Struss won't get too much playing time.
Pero given this depth chart, tingin mo?
Tingin ko hindi rin eh. Actually,
kasi wala na eh.
Si Okpala. Baka magamit si Okpala.
Okpala, yeah.
I mean, of all these players, baka Markieff Morris pa ang next in line eh.
I think Markieff Morris will get a lot of minutes kasi si PJ Tucker lang naman kalaban niya dyan.
Yeah.
Pero he's not a fantasy-friendly guy kasi.
Yun
so, hindi siya someone to...
minutes-wise, I think he is the next guy there. I'm not sure if I would pick any of the rest. Baka pick up na lang if uminit.
So, na lang, let's talk about sneaky play. Yeah, pick up pwede. Sneaky sleeper type player among these guys. It's between Max and Gabe Vincent. Considering lang yung depth chart na nakikita natin and mga interviews and just analyzing this, wala silang backup guards. Tyler Hero is the only. So one of Struss and Gabe Vincent would get a lot of minutes early in the season.
I think last year si Gabe Vincent played well.
Yeah, but in the summer league
played well then a bit. But sa summer league si Struss talaga yung
I think I like Max Struss. I like KZ Okpala. Sinabi mo rin, KZ Okpala.
Max Struss is like Duncan Robinson, di ba?
Yes.
Shooter din.
Shooter pero he's built more mas parang bato-bato yan si Max Struss eh. Mas may ball handling.
Yeah.
May rin siya, meron din siyang offense creation. So mas well-rounded si Max Struss.
Mas versatile siya than Duncan.
So for deep leagues, magandang target din. A very sneaky one si Max Struss. So titingnan natin sa preseason kung paano yung breakdown ng minutes. Pero sa outside of that, like let's say Markieff, let's say Dedmon, let's say Yurtseven, I think
wait and see. Actually, of all these players nga, baka ang pinaka-solid lang dito, Lowry, Robinson, Butler, and Adebayo.
Those four,
yeah. And maybe Tyler Hero, medyo may konting value na even despite the performance last year.
I'm staying away from Hero.
Pero
Yeah,
draftable on opening night.
no. I don't think so. This is why. I think even if makabounce back siya, what does he give you? Yun ang point ko eh. What does he give you? Hindi naman siya
Scoring,
someone...
actually scoring lang.
Scoring, yeah.
A
Yun
little
lang, scoring.
rebounding, a little rebounding.
Wala siyang...
Walang assist, walang defense.
Wala siyang defense. Wala siyang defense. So, best case, naging scorers, naging sixth man siya. Kasi nakikita ko, pwede siya maging sixth man dito eh. Walang player sa bench eh.
Siya nga, most
so parang
likely.
Lou Williams type. Pero Lou Williams type na inefficient, diba? So, yung gamble, yung risk mo, taking him, parang if you need scoring late in the rounds, pwede siguro. But if not, kung okay na ako sa scoring ko, I'll stay away from Tyler Hero. Someone I want to consider here to talk about is Jimmy Butler. Kasi nga, another player na medyo forgotten, no? Si Jimmy Butler. Pag pinag-uusapan ng mga top 12, top 15, si Butler, very rarely nandyan eh. Very rarely nandyan.
Maganda yung pinakagusto ko kay Butler eh. Butler drops ng mga third round, ganyan.
Pag third round yun, ano na yun? What league are you playing in na yun pag tinawag sa third round si Butler? Kasi...
early third.
He had a good year last year. Quietly, he had a good year last year.
Well, he had a good year last year. Pero... Yes. I think comparing it to 2 years ago, he had a better 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, medyo siya with injuries. Doon siya nadali with injuries. Lots of injuries.
But remember last year, they didn't have a off-season. So, back-to-back lang yun eh. Diba? Balik agad sa after the finals. Diba? Sobrang ano siya. So, I'm really feeling that him and Adebayo will have a big bounce back this year. And Jimmy Butler, good for two steals yan a game. Elite steals that I think he can continue this year. Given this depth chart, given this rotation of Miami.
And hindi natin napag-usapan pa, Kyle Lowry. Last year, he dropped 50s, 60s minsan. Do you think...
Ganun pa rin siya this year eh.
Do you think ganun pa rin?
Yeah, I think he's similar to how he is in Toronto. Feeling ko ganun pa rin. Should not be affected a lot by the change in the team.
Yeah.
Bagay na bagay siya sa Miami, so I think gagamitin din siya. He's gonna be a very usage should be.
So he is undervalued at this point.
I think so.
I mean,
may pagka-undervalued. Yes.
All right.
Ang ano dito, kumbaga tawag dito, question mark is Victor Oladipo kasi I'm getting different news. May iba nagsasabi na don't expect him this season. Yung trainer niya said November daw, pwede na daw siya maglaro.
Ako, ito na lang, stay away from Victor Oladipo.
Yun lang. Yung surgeon niya sabi may ginawa daw siya panibagong technique kaya pwede na daw siya maglaro sa November. So,
I mean, let him be others' headache. Not
yes.
Yun na lang natin. Yun na lang yung gawin natin kay Victor Oladipo. Alright, let's move on. Ito, Orlando, yan. Ito, very interesting din.
Oo, yan, interesting.
Backcourt, medyo madami. Ano bang...
Hindi, ito, tanong ko sa'yo. Jeremy, ikaw mag-predict ng starting five. Kasi itong depth chart, ano lang may yan eh.
Ano bang balita? Hindi ko alam balita kay Fultz eh.
Wala tayong balita kay Fultz. Wala tayong balita kay Isaac. Hulaan mo na lang. Anong tingin?
I think starting five to start the season. Cole, Suggs.
Start the season. Suggs,
Cole,
okay.
Suggs, Gary Harris, yan, I think. Si Okiki and Carter.
Okiki and Carter. Okay. Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with Carter. I agree with Okiki. I agree with Gary Harris and Suggs. I don't think Cole will start. I think it's going to be too small to start Cole, Suggs, and Gary. So I think they might go with Terrence Ross at the small forward position. Or maybe Franz Wagner. I don't know. But I think
actually, pwede rin yun. That would work.
Yeah.
Pero I feel baka either hindi ko alam kung iupo nila si Cole Anthony eh.
I think they will make him the sixth man. I think. Feeling ko lang. Feeling ko pang sixth man yung role niya this next season.
Pwede. Pero very interesting kasi dito medyo hindi clear eh who will start. So I think sa preseason medyo we'll get a better idea on paano si Cole Anthony. I think Ako mas leaning towards baka tama ka, baka nga Ross, they play Ross. And then they sit Gary Harris muna, pero hindi ako sure of that kasi syempre
I
that's a
think
veteran
Gary
name na big ano nila yun acquisition nila from last season so
diba? I think sa start ng season Gary will play. Remember, start of the season 0-0 lahat, so tie lahat. So feeling pa ng coach na who's their coach ngayon? Hindi na si Steve Clifford eh. Si Mosley ba o si Anselm?
Parang mostly.
Mostly si Mosley. So syempre, as a new coach, feeling mo pa na I'm gonna lead this team to the playoff, 'di ba? Shout out pala kay friend natin si John Nicolas, no? The only Magic fan that we know. Pero yun nga, pag start ng season, syempre lahat tie eh. So feeling mo parang playoff kami this year kasi we're very meron very deep ang lineup namin, etc. So I think they'll start Harris and Ross. Kasi veterans eh. The coach will start the veterans first. And then, as the season goes along, yun na, nagiging 325, 426 na yung record mo.
As the season goes along, Gary Harris, baka ano na yan, nasa IL nyo na yan. Wendell Carter, nasa IL nyo na yan. Yung mga
Ito yung tanong, sige.
Itong Orlando team, very injury-prone team.
Itong tanong natin, Jeremy, Wendell Carter or Mo Bamba?
To start?
Overall, next year, pagkatapos yung season, sino yung mag-rank higher? And who do you think you should gamble on?
At the end of the season, feeling ko Mo Bamba would be ranked higher.
Boy, gandang take yun, ha?
I just don't trust yung health lagi ni Wendell. Although Mo Bamba very injury prone din but I just feel Wendell Carter wala na hanggang na lang
So Bamba ka?
At the end of the season, yes, Bamba. Pero I think Wendell Carter will start pa rin.
Yeah, he will start. Pero fantasy-wise, pag-usapan natin, do you think he will rank higher than Mo Bamba? When it's all said and done?
Hindi ko Mo Bamba. Hula ko Mo Bamba.
Mo Bamba. I agree with you. I think Mo Bamba would eventually rank higher, but I doubt it. I doubt that he will start over Wendell Carter at any point kung healthy silang dalawa. Kung healthy silang dalawa,
baka healthy malabo. Kung healthy. Again, Wendell Carter is the biggest catch nila for that Vucevic deal.
Yes.
I mean, hindi nila uupo yan.
But given na pinag-usapan natin yan, I think, kaya ako na rin natanong yan, I think Mo Bamba is one good sleeper. Overall, this year. One good sleeper. Another late round hugot pick.
Yeah.
I think, Mo Bamba.
Actually, feeling ko Mo Bamba would go sa mga 10th, 11th round Feeling ko, maraming kukuha dyan on that, and even 9th round siguro pag wala na mapili.
Mataas yung 9th? I doubt it. I doubt mapupunta siya sa 9th. So far sa mock drafts, parang
10th, 11th yan yung mga
parang minsan pang last pick pa nga si Mo Bamba eh. So I think kaya nga feeling ko merong potential tong si Bamba na maging sleeper pick, maging hugot pick at the latter portion.
Pero ito, Jonathan Isaac, yan, isa sa mga very question mark in terms of the roster ng Orlando. Where do you pick Jonathan Isaac or do you pick him at all?
I don't pick him at all. Assuming he comes back maybe December, maybe January. Okay, I mean he's a fantasy stud. I understand. Anong kalayo? January pa ba balik? Na-injure siya, 'di ba sa bubble na?
Hindi, Jonathan Isaac.
Nung August ata. Bumalik pa siya ng bubble eh. He got injured and then he came back.
Hindi na siya naglaro.
Naglaro siya sa bubble. Na-injure siya sa bubble. I remember that. August din yun. I think yung unang injury niya is ACL tapos sumunod is something else or nauna yung isang major injury then ACL. Something like that.
Yeah.
So back-to-back yun eh. I doubt that he will be ready by the start of the season. Feeling ko lang.
Another case of Jaren Jackson this season.
Masyado na tayong nasunog kay Jaren Jackson eh. For me, bakit ako susugal kay Isaac given na even if he comes back, he can get injured again? I mean, susugalan ko si Klay Thompson, let's say. Kasi I know that he's been durable before the injuries came to him, di ba?
Jonathan Isaac has never been durable.
Oo. Hindi talaga eh.
And even yung best season niya, he was great, pero hindi rin niya natapos.
Hindi niya natapos. But if he's healthy, yun. I mean, top 20 pick yan. Diba? Pero parang ano yan eh, why would you expect him to do that when he's never done that and then he's gonna come off an injured season pa, injury-prone season. Ano kung healthy siya last year, tapos this season sabihin mo parang, sige, susugalan ko, pwede pa. Pero coming off two major injuries, tapos susugalan mo na magiging healthy siya when he has never done that before pa, I think that's impossible. So I'm staying away from Isaac.
Alright, so
that's for me. And
yeah.
I think aside from Bamba, another player na I think as of now lower rank is Jalen Suggs. And I like him.
Natin yan, Jalen Suggs eh.
I like him. Yes. I don't like where Jalen Green is positioned. I think Jalen Green right now is update ng Yahoo nasa 80 81 or 80 nandun si Jalen Green eh. Tapos si Cade Cunningham nasa 70 something. Si Suggs was at 102. So I like that more. I like the 102 more. Given this depth chart I assume Fultz will be again parang Isaac will be on off sa lineup sa start ng season. Cole Anthony, well, wala naman akong bilib dyan talaga as you all know. So I think it's Suggs. Suggs can play 1, can play 2, and will get a lot of minutes early on.
Okay.
So Suggs, and then we said Mo Bamba, and then I'm gonna go with Chuma Okeke.
Okay.
So yun.
How about
yun
si
tatlo.
Ross? Wala na.
Favorite
din natin yan eh.
Marami kasing Ross type players eh. So I'm not gonna go out and target him kasi may Tim Hardaway, may Gary Trent. Ang dami eh, di ba? So parang any of them pwede natin kunin pero not necessarily you have to get Terrence Ross. That's the thing, di ba?
Yeah.
Parang ang dami, pare-parehas lang naman sila eh.
Alright, so move on to the last team.
Last na ba?
Last team sa Southeast.
Oo nga, tama. 5th na pala.
The Wizards. The Washington Wizards.
Ito interesting din to. Ayan, sige. Ikaw muna. Sino yung tingin mong starting rotation? Starting 5 nila?
Beal, Dinwiddie, Hachimura, Kuzma.
Okay.
If hindi ko alam kung available na si Bryant eh. Pero baka
I don't think so. Sabihin natin hindi.
If hindi, baka si Gafford will start.
Okay, I agree with all the things that you said. Ito na lang tatanungin ko sa'yo. Given that Thomas Bryant at the very least I think will be back by the first month. Siguro he can miss at most the first month of the season. Nag-dunk na daw eh. So ano na eh, kumbaga malapit na. Anong tingin mo dun sa center rotation na to? Kasi Gafford last year had a great end of the season. 'Di ba? Parang fantasy winner itong si Gafford last year eh. Talagang
pero for fantasy managers he had a great end to the season.
Yes.
Pero for the real basketball as we've seen before, he is not a coach favorite to get heavy minutes. So I don't think Brooks pa rin ba coach nila?
Yes. Hindi na si Brooks. Si Wes Unseld, 'di ba?
Okay,
Wes Unseld.
So I don't think he'll get pag sila ni Bryant, I think I'll still go with Bryant. Assuming healthy si Bryant over Gafford.
So do you target Bryant? Do you target Harrell? Do you target Gafford? Kasi Harrell is ranked high in the Yahoo rank as of now. So people are probably betting na he will be more like the Clippers Harrell.
Si Harrell kasi parang off as a center. I'd like Harrell sana as a power forward, mga ganyan.
Pero mukhang hindi siya makakalaro ng power forward here given this depth chart as you can see.
So hindi ko sure kung I'll take Harrell. Siguro of all three, pinaka-safest siguro si Harrell. Safest in terms of, you know what to expect already.
Assuming all three are healthy, sinong mawawala sa rotation? Kasi you can only play 2. You cannot play 3.
Si Gafford.
Okay.
I still think si Gafford yung mawawala. Actually, interesting din yung power forward eh.
Yes, that's also true.
Bertans is there, Hachimura. Actually, feeling ko Kuzma would still be small forward. So baka tong Kuzma would be sneaky value to in terms of Kasi wala na siyang kapalit doon. Ewan ko si Corey Kispert kung makakuha ng minutes.
Corey Kispert, I doubt he'll be fantasy relevant.
Very thin si Washington here on the shooting guard and the small forward position. So, I think Kuzma moves up there. Tapos, KCP plays shooting guard and small forward from time to time. So, baka si Kuzma could have some value here.
Okay. Regarding Kyle Kuzma, I've not been a Kyle Kuzma fan. I'm a Laker fan, and since I'm a Laker fan, like Jeremy,
fantasy-wise, hindi talaga eh.
We've been very harsh on Kyle Kuzma. Everybody's been harsh on Kyle Kuzma. But yeah, I can see what Jeremy is saying about Kyle Kuzma having a bounce back year or having a better fantasy.
Ito yung bounce back year is not really the big, baka mag-expect kayo ng malaki from Kyle Kuzma.
Hindi, actually, I'm expecting a lot from Kyle Kuzma in Washington.
Ako hindi ako nag-expect.
I think yung rebounding niya will be a big thing in Washington. I think he'll continue that. Last year, he was a 3-and-D already sa Lakers. He's been transitioning to becoming a 3-and-D guy na may rebounding. So I think he can continue that with the Washington Wizards. I agree with your starting five. He's probably going to play small forward. Hachimura will start at power forward. And then Davis Bertans off the bench. Avdiha, I think, is not ready at the start of the season. So that removes a problem. Off the bench, I would see maybe KCP and Kispert getting some of the small forward backup minutes. So medyo may okay yon. Medyo hindi naman ganun kalalim na nakikita natin. And then next up there, as you can see, is Bradley Beal and Dinwiddie.
Yeah.
I love Bradley Beal this season. And he's clearly a first rounder. For me, he's clearly a first rounder.
Yeah. Wala na eh. Ang feeling ko delikado dito is Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie might be picked way too early.
Too early, yes. Yes. He's in the 70s and 80s right now. He's in 70s and 80s and okay lang naman. Okay lang naman sa akin yung 70s to 80s. Pero, parang mataas yun. I mean, all things work, that might be his rank. 70s to 80s. And he's never been a top 100 guy, even when Kyrie was injured in Brooklyn. He's never been a top 100 guy. So just keep that in mind.
He is a good replacement to some of your pero hindi siya
empty stats, popcorn stats.
Yeah.
Si Dinwiddie.
He can give you good scoring. Scoring lang naman si Dinwiddie mostly.
Mostly scoring.
Some assist siguro, a little assist here and there.
And then poor field goal and steals si Dinwiddie. So
baka nga better pa si Hachimura over Dinwiddie.
Tama. So, given itong 5 na to na pinag-usapan natin, Jeremy, sinong top player sa Southeast Division this year?
Southeast?
Ito,
Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal ka. And then, sino second mo?
I think still Trey.
Trey ka and then Jimmy Butler? That's your ranking.
Jimmy Butler pala. No, Jimmy Butler ako. I like Jimmy Butler over Trey. I don't like Trey as much. So more of Beal, Butler, and Trey Young. And then maybe after that,
Bam.
Collins. Bam. I think if in terms of in terms of ranking siguro, I'd stay away from Trey Young. Kung yun yung mga choices ko. If those are all available in the time na ako na yung magpipick, I'll pick Beal, Butler, Bam Adebayo in that order.
That's something I will also do. I'll go with Beal, clearly number 1. And then I'll go with Jimmy Butler. And then ako Adebayo and Trey Young, pwede both. There is a build that both of them can be really valuable naman. So okay ako doon sa dalawa. Pero if all things equal, Adebayo ako over Trey Young.
Although kasi pag second round, I don't think third round available pa yung mga yan eh. So pero
Trey kasi has the scoring. And this is another thing that I would tell the listeners. Scoring is hard to find this year. Pagka hindi mo makuha yung scoring mo early on latter part mo hahanapin yung scoring, medyo mahirap maghanap ng scoring sa lower part of the draft.
Kasi
sa
yung
latter
top
part.
scorers talaga, they're really big scorers. So like yung Beal, Harden, yung mga they're really strong scorers eh. So malayo yung gap nila from the middle level scorers na hahanapin nyo. So yun. All right, that's the Southeast Division, and that's it muna for this episode. We'll have another episode in the coming days for the next division naman, and throughout the week siguro we'll do all these division depth charts. Pag-uusapan natin to as we get closer to the start of the NBA. Almost 1 month na lang, close to a little over a month na lang for the start of the NBA. Alright, we'll see you again on the next episode, guys. Bye.